Welcome to the Supporting Chaos podcast. I'm Sammy.
Sorry I'm late.
Of course you are.
Sorry I'm late.
What's on your shirt?
Could be throw up.
I think I have a stain remover. I think this is yours.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you have wipes. That'll do. Oh my gosh, guess what?
Let's hit record first. Welcome to the Supporting Chaos podcast. I am Sammy.
And I'm Gracie.
And let's get started. So how was your morning?
Well, I knew better than to... I'm just going to talk about her because I don't think she'll ever watch her podcast. But
no one's going to want to be your friend if you do that.
She's a teenager. There's this one babysitter who's canceled on me 3 times. So honestly, it's kind of my fault at this point. But she was the only person available and she canceled last second. Like just last second. So I was like, wait, this would be really fun to bring the girls to do the podcast.
I was literally thinking that you were going to do that. And I was thinking it through. And I was like, well, the oldest one would be fine. We can just give her like the iPad out there. But the youngest one and this equipment,
she would wreck everything. But I was just like, it would be really, really funny. And then I was like, it'd be funny for 20 minutes. And then it would be like, okay, girls.
I literally had the same thought. And I was like, it would actually be kind of fun if the 7-year-old came because, you know, I think she could get it and she'd be pumped to like sit there and do iPad or whatever, like come to work. But I was thinking about the 3-year-old and I was like, there's no way.
She's a wild child.
And she's very clingy, too.
Oh, yeah.
And so if she's not clinging to Gracie, she's clinging to me.
She didn't grab my face. What are you talking about?
When she's at my house, she does not leave my side. And it actually makes me so happy, though.
So cute.
It is really cute.
But of course, it's like today of all days, because right after the podcast, we're traveling to Asheville to catch our flight because it was cheaper than flying out of Charlotte or flying to Michigan. And so it was like I already have like, on travel days, I already have so much anxiety about stuff. And so I was already like, nervous. And then when I got that text, it was literally at 8:30 and I had to leave the house at like 9:15.
Well, I'm proud of you for not using that as an excuse and showing up.
I know.
That's hard sometimes, right?
My husband was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know. You got to figure it out. I got to go. But he ended up, I just loved the neighborhood that we live in. It's such a village. So he ended up calling around. He took them to work, and then somebody found somebody else's kid, like teenage daughter that could come over.
I was like, someone else's kid.
like a teenager. Yeah. Like we asked a friend if they could, and they couldn't, and they ended up finding somebody for us.
That's so nice.
Like, I know. Everyone was like trying to help. You know Cece, Jenna's mom?
Yeah.
So our friend's mom even offered to come babysit.
Oh.
Her grandchildren are at camp.
That's so sweet.
You don't have to do that. That's so sweet. Isn't that so nice?
So nice.
So, yes, but we got it all covered, and I'm here, and we're going to focus on the podcast and breathe.
It all worked out.
Get that out of my mind.
It's going to be a good day. I'm sorry. I'm like getting so distracted. My hands are so orange. I feel like in the summer, I just layer on like a different self-tanner every night. Does anybody else do that?
Yeah.
And like if you look closely, it just looks so bad and so streaky.
It's so streaky.
It's so streaky.
I saw a TikTok one time that was like this girl that was like, one of my toxic traits is thinking that this, and it's like her hands look like yours, looks better than being pale.
Close up on those. Honestly, it does. Like as long as this doesn't bother me, but if my face is like super pale, and honestly, I'm just so over the self-tan. It makes me want to go back to my roots, go lay on a trampoline with some banana boat.
I know.
Like oil and
I
just
did it the other day.
up.
The other day I went and I laid in the sun, and after like 5 minutes, I'm like, and I purposely like didn't put sunscreen on my face, and after like 5 minutes, I was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Go back inside.
Like, it was so nice just not caring about wrinkles.
I know. The good old days.
Yeah. Oh, I like your nails. Are those the press-ons?
Yes. It's this one glue, and you can use any press-on.
It looks so junky.
It is.
Fine. I didn't even notice that.
Okay, because
look at our hands. If our hands like, wait, because got chunks of glue behind hers. My nails aren't even done. They're also orange.
I used like one of those like nail cuticle shaver things. And I went way too hard, and all of my nails were bleeding, and they literally hurt so bad I couldn't sleep one night.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I won't use those
They look
anymore.
good from the outside, but it's just when you turn them.
Once this heals, it'll be okay.
I think it's just the chunks of glue.
And the chunks of glue.
But they look
inside.
better than my nails, so.
Whatever.
Anyways, all right, let's just
get
jump right in. Today we're going to talk about the things that we do not care about and the things that we care about as moms. I feel like this is such a fun trend that's been going around.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to do it. So here we are 6 months later from when the trend started talking about it, because one of the reasons why it is probably a trend right now is just because there's so much more pressure on moms than ever before on the things that we're supposed to be doing. And probably a large part of that, like, obviously has to do with social media. And so I feel like that's a big part of like why we even have to talk about the things that we care about and we don't care about.
Yeah. I think too, there's something I feel like before you become a mom, there's a lot of talk of like, oh, I'll never do this. And then when you when you get there finally, when you do become a mom, then you're like, wait, this is a lot harder than I thought it was. And all those things that you said you weren't going to do or you heard are not good for your kids or whatever, you're like, well, this is reality and this is freaking hard.
Yeah. I think especially with just like the overload of information too. And even like, I mean, when school started, the amount of notifications I have from schools on these apps that are supposed to make our lives easier is wild. It's like a full-time job managing those.
Yeah.
And it's a different field day. It's dress like a book character day. And if you have multiple schools and multiple kids, it is so hard to keep up with.
It's a lot.
I just feel like it used to be so many things that we've done, we've just complicated more.
Yeah. When I feel like people get really, like other moms too, get really invested in certain things too. Like, you know, when you see like, when it's like a dress up day and like half of the kids go all out. Yeah. And then and it's like, because you don't want them to feel like left out and stuff. And I think like people get so invested in things that it is really easy to be like, wait, should I be more like that? Or should I do this? Or like...
Well, I think people are invested in things, but it's also we know so much more about people than we used to. Like, I know what color Sally's kitchen is from social media or something. Yeah. Like, I know what teacher gifts she's giving the kids.
Yeah, that's true.
And you used to just not even know that stuff because there wasn't social media.
And when you scroll and someone's like, this is why you should never let your kids eat Jell-O, and then you're like, oh, we shouldn't be eating Jell-O. Like, it's like easy to like take in that information and like not even think about it.
I don't care about. I see that stuff. I'm like, okay.
I don't care about Jell-O either, but I feel like people put their opinions out there, and even though you don't realize you're processing it, you are. And you're like, wait, now I think I should or shouldn't do this.
I mean, I feel like that's just a huge thing, is that it's the information overload that we're always having. And then we have the apps, we have social media, it just feels like in a lot of ways, technology's obviously made our lives easier in some ways, like the fact that we can work from our phones. We wouldn't even be here if it wasn't for technology. So I hate to be like a technology shamer because I'm very grateful for it. But it is just so much sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember, this is like a very clear memory that I have, and I feel like it's a good example. So our mom did one Christmas. It was a Christmas that we did in Charleston, which was very rare. This is my ADD part of giving you the whole backstory that you don't need to know. So we usually spend Christmases in Michigan. And I'm not going to go through all this, but we did a rare Christmas in Charleston, and our cousins came to Charleston. And I'll never forget, she made these hot chocolates and put literally it was like a Peep marshmallow that was like a snowman, and put it in the hot chocolate in like a cute glasses that we already had that were probably passed out or something. And I remember her like having
the little snowman glasses.
Yeah.
I remember this.
She put like a little snowman like Peep marshmallow thing on it. And I remember like her walking outside with this tray and being so proud of it. Like, it was like this, like, and I think she saw it in the Martha Stewart magazine. I don't know why that memory is like coming to me.
If Instagram was a thing, she probably definitely would have posted it to her story.
But also, it was pretty simple. And I think it's interesting because I think of that as like, wow, that was so creative. The stuff that these moms are doing now is like so Pinterest worthy. And I just always think back to that example. And it's something that's kind of a core memory, because I thought it was special and fun. And I remember her being proud of like, look how creative this is. And it just really shows you how much things have changed. I mean, now these food things that people are making, or these Pinterest-worthy dishes and things, are like so elaborate.
So our friend Casey, I love her. She, at the end of school, made this little pencil out of like a pool noodles. And I saw it popped up on my feed. I saw it, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. I literally went to our garage and started cutting up pool noodles. And then I was like, this isn't you. Stop trying to make a pool noodle. But like first, I was like, oh my gosh, it's so cute. Her kids are going to come home to that. I should do something like that. Like, yeah. And I was like, no, not you.
I think of things a lot. The amount of projects and things that I have saved that I'll probably never do.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that's just a big example of like, we have so much access to things. Like she saw this one, literally just putting a marshmallow on a hot chocolate in the Martha Stewart magazine. And that was fancy.
Yeah.
And now we're cutting up pool noodles and doing crazy stuff to try to do like one special thing. So I feel like we can give ourselves a little bit of grace there because there is just a lot more pressure on like what you were saying, what to eat, what to do, what to buy, what to dress, what air purifiers. I don't even know. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy. We're going to start with the list of things that we don't care about.
Okay.
So you go first.
I feel like this one's pretty obvious. I say it all the time. I don't care what they wear.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't care. I think it's more important that they feel confident about it than what they actually wear. There was a time where I did care. And a lot of these things I'm going to say that I don't care about, I cared about at some point. And I've kind of, as I've had more kids, I switched a little bit. But I could care less.
I was actually thinking about that on the drive over, about how many of these things that we probably cared about 5 years ago that we don't now. And I know we've talked about it before in other episodes, and it's like that pressure that you put on yourself of a first-time mom.
Yeah.
I wish almost it would be so fun if we had done the list back then to compare it then to compare now. Because
if I could go back to first-time mom me, I would just give her a hug and be like, it's not that serious. This kid's going to be okay. You got it. Like, just chill.
Just chill. I feel like one of those for me would be TV. So I used to not care at all about TV, and I still don't. But I will say the difference is, like, on the weekends, my kids will probably watch a lot of TV. But the difference is now I realize that if they watch TV all day, it affects them. So instead, I'm just more like, okay, we'll go run at the park for an hour and then you can watch TV kind of mom. But I used to not care at all.
I was like that with red dye until recently. I've been paying attention to it. And one of my kids specifically, I've noticed a huge correlation. And it's funny because I've always been like, oh, whatever. And I don't really like, if they're at a birthday party, I'm not going to be like, don't eat that. But I was always just like, whatever. And then now that I like actually started paying attention to it, I'm like, it does affect her a little bit. Especially one thing more than the other.
The red dye is very controversial right now with everyone. But I think you have to just kind of do your own research.
Yeah.
But I will say I'm the same way. It affects one of my kids and I can just tell. And I'm not an expert on it. Maybe it's all the sugar, but I see a correlation strong enough.
Yeah. That's like what I was saying, like with TV, like I'm just realizing, like I'm just seeing the like connection.
And again, that's the other thing is why we can't make blanket statements because every kid is different.
Yeah.
Every parent is different. You're not going to get a script that is going to work for every child the same way, every parent the same way, every situation the same way. And that's just how it goes.
That's literally one of the things I wrote down is I don't care about other people's opinion on my parenting because a lot of times there's a backstory you don't know about. A lot of times there's a situation you don't know about, or you don't know my kids, you don't know the way they act, you don't know me as a parent. Like, to form an opinion, like people's opinion about my parenting, I don't care because they don't know the whole story. They don't know everything.
And I feel like you've come a long way with that one too.
Yeah.
Because I think we've talked about it before. I think especially being such a young mom, I think you might have put a little bit more pressure. Do you feel like you put more pressure on yourself because you wanted to prove?
I think I heard so much how good of a mom I was. And I think a lot of people, because I've always worked with kids.
Yeah.
And I've always had like an act for kids. And I think people were like, oh, you're going to be such a good mom. You're such a good mom. You're super mom. You're super mom. And it got to me. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to like stay at this threshold And then I was like, why am I showing them that I'm a good mom? I don't need anybody to tell them, please stop telling me I'm a good mom. I don't need you to tell me I'm a good mom. I need to feel it.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
I don't know.
I can see that though, because I mean, I remember even when you were a little kid, we'd be actually we weren't at the airport. We would be somewhere and a smaller kid would come up to you and obviously she's an amazing teacher and has like such a gift for working with kids. So you feel like maybe it wasn't really being a young mom, it was more that you felt like.
I think there was something about not really even being young. I think not being married when I had my first was kind
of to prove that you were ready for it.
To prove that I was ready for it. And I think I like had that for a little bit. And then it was like hearing how good of a mom you are all the time. And like Sammy and I've talked about this a lot, but like when I had my second and my husband's traveling for work all the time, and I have like 2 little ones at home and people are just like, no, 3. It was when I had my third. So I had 16-month-old, a 3-year-old, and then just a newborn. My husband was like working all the time, traveling all the time. People kept being like, oh, you're a super mom. You're a super mom. You're doing great. You're a super mom. And I'm like, okay, stick with it. When in reality, I'm like dying. But at that moment, I didn't need to hear that I was super mom. I needed to hear, hey, I see how much you're doing. Yeah. Hey, I see that you're making it through this phase. Hey, what can I do to help? Telling me that I'm super mom in that moment only makes me think that I have to keep going at this like super mom threshold.
Yeah.
Which is not what I needed to hear. I know people had good intentions. Yeah. But it's not what I needed to hear in the moment.
Well, and I also think everyone's experiences again are so different on how, see that it doesn't really bother me. But I also think I don't care about people's opinions as much, like, in general. I'm a pretty, like, this is what I need to do right now. I'm pretty, like, zoned in on that. So I feel like it's just, everyone's different. Yeah. You know?
Well, it's like once I kind of let that go in my head and I was just like, why do I care? Like, once I flipped the switch, then I really realized I am a better mom when I don't care what people think about my parenting.
I just haven't cared since day one.
And so now I just don't, like, if my kids are throwing a fit at a restaurant and I respond a certain way and people are looking at me, like, I don't care.
Yeah, I feel like I don't care about what someone else is thinking about my parenting. I care more about if I'm in it. This used to happen a lot when my kids were younger, especially when they're dysregulated and I'm dysregulated and somebody is trying to like discipline or like parent my kids. Those type of things really bother me. But it's not out of a fear of them judging me. It's a fear of, just like, he's not, I know my kid's dysregulated. I know I'm dysregulated.
And you know how to help them when they're dysregulated, and sometimes people don't.
Yes.
And a lot of times people think being authoritative is the best way
and they'll come in when my spicy brain kid is having a meltdown and say like, no, blah, blah, blah. And that drives me crazy.
Yeah. And it probably drives the kid crazy too. Like, it's not helping anybody in the situation.
So that's, I guess, we're not at that list. So that's something that I do kind of care about.
Yeah.
But it was,
we'll get there.
But it doesn't stem from like, oh, I think Susie thinks I'm a bad mom.
Yeah.
It's more like, Susie, this is not you stay over there. This is my kid. This is me.
Stay in your lane, Susie.
I know. Yes, stay in your lane, Susie. Okay, I have one that might be a little bit controversial that I haven't heard before.
Okay.
I feel like I'm scared to say this one. And I'm going to admit something on social media that I've never admitted before. I don't really care about spoiling my kids on their birthday and Christmas. And I know that that's controversial, and I know that that comes from a place of privilege, and I'm lucky that I can do that.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I take a picture of like their birthday setup in the morning, I take away some of the presents when I post it because I don't want anybody to play the comparison game. But it's just, and I don't know, maybe it stems from my childhood. I see so many of for Christmas, they get something to read, something to wear, something to that. And my kids are just getting more than that, and it's excessive, and it's so not necessary, and it's junk. But it is weirdly something that like brings me a little bit of joy, and I don't really care.
I think you know what I think it is?
And I've never admitted that before.
You know what I think it is? I don't think it's about the And you could tell me if you're like, no, that's not it, Gracie, you're wrong. But I don't think it's like even about the stuff. I think it's about the magic.
Yeah.
Like I think it's because you do like to do like even like little things, like not just the stuff. Like you like to like have a setup. And it's like, I feel like it's less about the stuff than it is about like making that magical moment important.
Which is funny because when we were little, we were spoiled with gifts. And me getting a gift is not my love language.
Yeah.
At all. But I do think I'm thoughtful with my gifting.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really want to like think of something that even they might not have thought about.
Yeah.
Like I take pride in that.
Yeah.
And so I think maybe gift giving is kind of my love language, which I've never thought about. Not for my husband, poor thing, but I like the surprise. I like to be, I don't know, it's just kind of fun for me.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
but nobody says that.
no, I think I'm pretty bad at like when we go to a store, if they want a toy, I'm going to get them a toy.
Yeah.
And that's not something I like. I know that's not right, but
luckily
like,
we just don't go to stores, so I don't have that problem very often. I Instacart or Amazon everything.
Every time I say a $5 toy and we walk out with $15 toys, but I get that. I don't think that's
my kids
bad.
Like they have like a little allowance, but they never spend money. Mm-hmm. So I usually just am like, okay, I'll buy it for you, but you have to pay me back. And little do they know, I have to borrow from them whenever the tooth fairy comes, and I don't pay them back. So who knows?
Who knows? Good one though.
I know. I feel like I was just thinking about it, and I know that again. I will say the difference is with like Santa Claus. I don't do that as like I understand that because you don't want the kids like going to school and saying, I got an iPad from Santa.
I experienced that my first year teaching and it broke me.
Yeah. So I feel like the Santa gifts is something like, I mean, my Cooper got like a stuffed dog.
Yeah, I try and keep Santa gifts around $50 if I can. And then if there's a bigger gift that I want to get them, it's from mom and dad.
Yeah. I think especially as they get older too and talk about it more. But so that's the exception. But like as from gifts from mom and dad, I know. It's too much shit. They don't need it. It's excessive, but I like to do it.
Points for self-awareness.
And I'm obviously grateful that I can afford to do it because I know that that's very stressful for a lot of parents. Yeah. So that's my little thing.
Well, I mean, it's not that stressful. You just really rack up your credit card, then you consolidate your debt like I do, and then we go through a debt relief program. It's fine.
I don't care if you're a working mom. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom. It's all hard. Yeah. I hate the comparison of like working moms against stay-at-home moms of like what's harder. It is all so hard. I also I think stay-at-home mom kind of needs a rebrand in my opinion, but that's a topic for a different day. Like I never thought about it.
I don't like the word stay-at-home.
I remember when I was a stay-at-home mom, and I still am pretty much. I'm kind of a hybrid now, but I remember feeling like working moms were judging me kind of, you know?
Yeah.
And I feel like working moms think that stay-at-home moms are judging them. Yeah. For the daycare and whatever. And like, I don't care whatever one you're doing. Your kids are going to be fine. Either way, it literally does not matter. What matters is a fulfilled mom. And you know.
And I feel like, so I had my moments as a working mom when all I wanted to be was a stay-at-home mom. Then I became a stay-at-home mom, realized how hard it was, and then like really mourned my career and like all of that. And then became a work-from-home mom. And like, I feel like the grass is always greener. And every one of the scenarios, I wished for the other scenario at some point. And it was just like...
It's all freaking hard.
It's all hard, just in different ways.
Yeah. Oh, so the other thing I feel like my kids are always barefoot. Your kids are always barefoot. That's another thing I don't care about. Unless they're a place that's like dangerous, I don't care if they wear shoes. Popsicles, we eat like 3 popsicles a day. I don't care. Yeah. My kids eat, they're Johnny Pops, so they're not so bad for you. It's like juice.
Yeah. I think one of mine is I don't really care about germs.
That's a good one.
And I know like people are going to be like if my kid drops something.
Oh, yeah. I don't care.
On like even if it's like a public, like a restaurant floor, I'm like, fine.
My kids are disgusting.
I know. Literally, I have seen my kids lick handrails in public places. A pool handrail. I'm like, they're gonna get it anyways. I also, if we're having a play date and you're like, hey, I'm so sorry, they have the sniffles, I'm gonna be like, I don't care. Most of the time, I don't care.
We've got 5 kids between us. Between like one of the kids always has a runny nose. Yeah, I mean, at least.
It's one thing if you're like, hey, we had the flu yesterday and now we're gonna come hang out. But if it's like a little cold, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be like, come on over. Like, I mean, we'll go to the bathroom and wash our hands. But like, public restrooms don't creep me out. Germs really don't.
It's funny because I don't care if this makes me sound bad, maybe, but I don't care about my kids. I think just because I can't control it. The thought of touching a railing on a subway, like, makes me like want to go into like shock. Like,
I've never thought about touching.
I always like touch my elbows. If I really have to like touch a keypad, I do like I'll do that to touch like keypads and things. So
funny.
I don't know. It's not even like a germ thing. It's like, I don't know, is
my
there
only thing
jizz
is, like,
on their hand or something?
Ew.
I don't know. It's like a dirty thing. Like, people are gross.
Yeah, I've never thought about
And
that.
I think for me, it just grosses me out about thinking about it, but I don't care about my kids because they don't care. So why do I care if they don't care?
And you can't control it.
Yeah. And it's not like I don't worry about germs from sickness. I worry about germs just because people are disgusting.
Yeah. I've never really thought about it.
Boys have hands in their pants like 95% of the day.
Yeah, I've never really thought about it.
Sorry for that.
Great. Now I'm never going to be able to touch a handrail on a subway again.
I like when I see Mario just like grab onto it, I'm like, how do you do that? And it not just like drive you crazy. Okay. What are your thoughts? Do you care about cursing?
Oh, I actually have this in what I care about.
Oh, I think we might be different here, which is good.
I do care about cussing.
Okay.
I care about bad words, and it's one of those things that I don't think I should care about as much as I do, but I do.
Like bad words meaning what?
So I care about cussing.
Okay.
I really care about like stupid, idiot, hate. For forever, we weren't allowed to say the word hate. And my 8-year-old was finally like, I was like, oh.
8-year-old? When did you get an 8-year-old?
Oh, 7. She just
turned 7?
Gosh, I'm out of it.
It's okay, mom brain.
But she's like, we don't say the word hate. I'm like, okay, we can say like, I hate Brussels sprouts.
Dude, I literally had this same conversation yesterday. Like, my kids think the same thing with hate.
Yeah, like, but I don't like, and my kids have done a good job cussing, and I have a pretty bad potty mouth, but I am good about not cussing in front of them.
Yeah.
I don't cuss in front of them. And I just think it's all negative and derogatory. And so I just am like, let's just not.
Yeah, that's fair. That's actually a good point. I feel the same way about like the word stupid, and my in-laws listen to this all the time. I love you guys. I would not survive motherhood without you, but you do say stupid and I'd like you to work on it. I'm going to get a text on this. But stupid really bothers me. A word like shit just does not bother me.
Yeah.
Like, I have a 0.
And that's like I feel like that's like a very common thing. Like, people are starting to be like, we don't care about cussing.
I think the part that's important is I don't want them to, they have to learn the right context on when to say it.
I would rather my kids say, what the fuck, than you're so stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Like, there's just so many other words besides cursing. But as far as the curse words, I do feel like I don't want to just say it's a bad word, you can never use it. Because I use it and they're gonna use it. And I just feel like it's kind of setting them up for failure, probably. I'm sure there's some people that don't curse, but I do. My husband does. Like, I don't know, we just curse. And so it's more about like teaching them, okay, I mean, we don't go to church, but if we did go to church, don't cuss in church.
Yeah.
Don't cuss in school.
Or like, instead of like,
don't cuss at work.
If
like,
something bad happens too, it'd be like, oh, this is fucking bullshit. Instead of being like, oh my gosh, I'm so frustrated right now. I can't believe this. Like,
yeah.
you can use a way of expressing, like, I just say cuss words instead of saying how I feel. I'm just like, maybe.
But I feel like I'll say a cuss word, like probably fuck is the one the most. That's like almost, and I guess it's not funny, people would argue, but a lot of comedians swear and it makes it funnier. Sometimes saying the F word is
I love to swear
funny.
when I'm telling a good story.
Yeah. But I did do something with my 6-year-old the other day. I told him if he wants to say a curse word, he can say it. We can talk about it, but it has to be just with me. Mm-hmm. And he can like get it out of his system. And I'm hoping, we'll see, that it'll be a way to like teach him of like, there's appropriate times where you can say it and there's appropriate times you didn't. So the other day was honestly so freeing. 10 out of 10 recommend. he wanted to do it. So we went out to the dock and we screamed "damn it" together. He thought "damn it" was like the worst cuss word too. And it was like, I don't know if what is it? Oh, CPS probably was like on the way. Like our neighbors are probably like, why is that mom out there with her 6-year-old? We were just screaming "damn it" at the top of our lungs. And it literally was so freeing. It was one of the best days of my life.
The thing is, I've never been like, you can't say this, but my oldest, if I were to be like, you can't say any of the cuss words, she would be like,
yes,
I have to.
Yes, exactly. My boundaries are always never very hard.
Yeah.
And I'm really trying to stick to things. Like if I say you can't do it, then I don't want them to do it.
Yeah.
And it has to be very important. And there's not a lot of those things. And so for me, like a racial slur, you cannot ever fucking say that.
Yeah.
Like that's so different from me than if they say shit. And so I don't want to say you can't say shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I don't want to group all of these things together.
I've just kind of been like, in my oldest is just such an oldest child. She's just very, very oldest child. And I'm just like, oh, we don't say that because it's kind of rude. Like in that, she's like, I've never really heard her say a cuss word unless she's like asking me what it is.
Yeah.
But if I was like, you're not allowed to say the word shit, I guarantee she would be like, I gotta say it, shit.
Exactly. Exactly.
So I do think like putting a huge emphasis around the words I don't care as much about. I care about the meaning of the way you're talking.
Yeah. I think that's a good skill in life of like, you need to know when, like if you're going to a job interview, do not curse in it, you know?
One of like my favorite kind of like mom hacks lately, I guess it's a mom hack, has been if I wouldn't say it to an adult, would I say it to my kids? So like,
it's a good one.
If I'm like, hey, can you go clean that up? And they're like, no, because like, they're like, no, I don't want to because I didn't play with that. I saw Mila and Lennon playing with that, blah, 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 blah. Like, tell me your thing. If an adult said, no, they're not going to do something and gave me a reason, would I be like, don't care, do it anyways?
Yeah.
No, I'd be like, okay, that's a valid, like, and so I started to like think that way, especially as my oldest is getting older, and it is really eye-opening.
Yeah.
Like how you like say some stuff, and so I think that like wraps into like the cuss word stuff is like, you just wouldn't, if an adult came over to me and was like, hey, you're so stupid, I would care.
Yeah.
You know, like,
if they stubbed their toe and said shit, you wouldn't say you can't say that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that makes sense. I feel like that, I mean, I do feel like I try to do that with parenting of kind of trying to understand their point too, because they are humans. And I think kids for so long were just supposed to listen and obey. And we just didn't allow them to like feel everything. And if they have like a reasonable explanation, then I do want to hear it.
I mean, like, imagine if you were like, hey, Gracie, do you want a hug? And I was like, no. And you were like, come on, Gracie, that's not it. Like, it works for so many things. Yeah. If you like think about if you would say it to an adult or not.
I like this. Another thing, God, I don't have that much stuff that I care about now, but my I don't care list, it's so long. I think a lot of it is, again, because I've said this before, but I'm ADHD and there's things that I just cannot hold boundaries very well. I can't. So I'm really focusing on the boundaries that I can hold and sticking to those. Mm-hmm. That's just, I feel like loose boundaries are very hard. And so I don't want to absolutely say you can't do something if I'm going to forget it. But another thing that I don't care about is like perfect attendance. My kids are going to never have perfect attendance. I don't care if my kids miss school. And I don't care about their grades within reason. So I feel like I want my kids to try, and I don't want them to, like, I think if you're failing all your classes, and I want your opinion on it from your teaching background, like, that can be really hard for your self-esteem. And I don't want my kids to, like, not show up and try. But I feel like when we grew up, there was this pressure for everybody to go to college and get good grades, and that's all that matters. And it made a lot of people who didn't go to college or they flunked out of college feel kind of like failures. Mm-hmm. And so I want my kids to try, and I feel like I know their ability. Yeah. But I'm just not going to make grades so important. Like, we grew up, grades were like the most important things. Like, you had to, if you got good grades, you got rewarded. Like, it's just not that important to me.
See,
You're going to care about grades, I feel like.
Okay, yes and no. So I don't care about grades in the sense of you need to get an A or B. I care about grades in what grades tell me as the parent.
Okay.
So my kids' teachers in first grade would send all of their work at the end of the month home, and it would be like a huge stack of work.
Yeah.
And I loved to go through it. I really just did. And I would look and I would see things where she made a mistake that I knew she knew. And so then I would be like, hey, Har, what happened here? And we'd go through it, and she would be like, oh, I didn't listen to the direct, but it can tell you so much. And so when she got a lower grade in one subject, I reached out to her teacher. I was like, hey, I just wanted to make sure everything's good. And I found out that there was a problem with another kid in the class who kept leaning on her for during that one subject. And I will never be you're in trouble because you got a C, as long as I know she worked hard enough. But I do care about what grades tell you about what they're doing in school.
Yeah.
Because if they are trying their best and they flunk it, I don't care. But if they flunk it because they're not doing what they're supposed to, or there's something going on, then I care.
This is so funny. This is I feel kind of sums up. First, I 100% to your point. Gracie's parenting and my parenting in a nutshell. So my a 6-year-old comes home from school, and he with all of his papers too, and we do this spin around game where he spins, and each person gets the paper. I don't ever look at it. And Cooper's obsessed with his stuff, so it always turns into a fit about how much Cooper wants it. But he just spins, and we each get me, Mario, and Cooper. He does this whole spin around game. But I've never looked at his actual work.
Yeah, I think it does stem from being a teacher too, because this is one thing I care about that I probably shouldn't. That I probably should be a little bit more chill about. But I care about school in the sense of if she gets in trouble at school, if any of them get in trouble at school, it gets me.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from being a teacher.
But it's okay. It's okay to care,
Yeah.
That's the thing, is we all have our different things that we care more about, right? I think whenever I go to my kids' school, I'm this is terrible. I hate it here. It's jail.
I saw something the other day that really got me, and I've never even considered this way. And it was talking about how they hate homework. And
I hate homework.
I hated homework as a teacher too. I gave optional homework, and if people wanted extra things, because I was actually really surprised at the amount of parents that were hey, can we have some homework? Sure.
Yeah.
If you want to. But she was okay, so they go to school for 7 hours. They're told where to sit, when to talk, who to talk to, where to eat lunch, when to walk, when to go to the bathroom. When they get home, I let them do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Because they just spent 7 hours being told exactly how to do everything.
That's 100% how I feel.
I was oh my gosh, I've never really considered it that way.
At my kids' school, for the first 10 minutes of lunch, they're not allowed to talk. And I'm going to say something, again, controversial. I don't care if he gets in trouble during that 10 minutes. I don't fucking care.
I know.
Because I couldn't sit there for 10 minutes. And it's also, they ate lunch at 10:30. He's not hungry. They do a brain break before lunch. So he's overstimulated and hyped up.
Yeah.
And then he gets at trouble at lunch. I'd get in trouble at lunch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the thing is,
I don't think that's
I understand the reasoning. I understand the reasoning for the no talking the first 10 minutes. I don't agree with it, and I think it sucks, and I don't like it.
I don't understand the reasoning behind it.
It's because they have to move so many people through the lunchroom that these kids only have 25 to 30 minutes to eat. And a lot of the times, because they can talk for the first time, they spend that whole time talking. By the time the teachers come and get them, most of them haven't ate.
Okay. And I think every school, I guess you'd have to handle that differently depending on what the school is.
I let my kids, so it was a rule at our school, but I always let my kids have 10 minutes to talk before we left for lunch. And then I always let all my kids bring their food back.
Yeah. And again, it's a different situation. It depends so much on your school. But if these kids are hungry, they're going to eat.
Yeah. And I think, too, because I worked at a Title I school, a lot of these kids, they didn't have dinner at home. And so, if they didn't eat their lunch that they got for free from school, they weren't eating.
Yeah.
And so, school-wide, there was a bug problem and we had issues. You weren't supposed to let them. And we would leave out the back door and go around to our back door so that they could bring their food with them. And I would bug bomb my classroom every once in a while. I know it's against the rules.
And like, I'm a snack girl.
Yeah.
I don't want to eat just because it's lunchtime. Like, that is so hard for me.
But I also think the whole 10 minutes of not talking does hurt my heart in a way that it's like eating should be like a community thing. This should be a time where we can
shoving your
freely
food
talk
down your throat for 10 minutes so then you can talk. Like, you don't have to eat a certain amount of food to earn your privilege. Like, if you're not hungry at 10:30 in the morning, then bring in also this school. They have Chick-fil-A. It's not even like a lunch program. Like the school, it's, you know, they're paying for Chick-fil-A. There's not like a free cafeteria.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think make sure everyone is fed, but let them take their snacks to their to the place. And
I also think like there has to be a way to figure out how to have, and I know school schedules are so insane, but there has to be a way to figure out how to give these kids more time to eat. And I think it's okay to share this. So my middle child has cerebral palsy, and I'm so on top of it. She got an IEP last year for kindergarten so that we know what accommodations are going to be. She still has 2 more years of kindergarten, but like I'm making sure that she has all this put in place so that it's the right accommodations for her. One thing that her OT and I have been talking about, and I don't talk about it with her cerebral palsy too much because I just don't want to share too much, but I think she'd be fine with this, is she was like, she's a really slow eater. And she's like, it makes me nervous for kindergarten. So like one thing we're working on at home is getting through your meal faster. Or like, she's like, maybe you just pack mostly protein and like not a lot of filler foods. And like, it's so sad.
It's so sad.
So I'm trying to figure out
Being a slow eater is a great thing.
I know. Well, right now I'm trying to figure out a way to get it implemented in her IEP that she has extra lunchtime. And the CMS IEP lady was like, I've never gotten that request before. And I was like, okay, well, we got to figure out how to make it happen.
I would put that in my own IEP.
I'm like, I don't want her to feel like, because we were starting to work at it at home, and I was like, I don't want her to feel
work
rushed.
on eating faster. Like,
I know.
Her body is telling her a pace that's good to eat for her brain to like register.
And both her OT and I were like, it's the only thing we can think of.
I mean, the school system, and I guess like I can't say it enough, like the teachers have so much on their plate and they are not supported, and this is not on the teachers at all. I like think teachers are, if you're a teacher, you're going straight to heaven unless you're a shitty one, but most of them aren't. But the school system is so broken. It is. And I guess it's always been broken. I just didn't really realize it until I was an adult and see this. Like, why are we forcing kids to eat lunch in 20 minutes at 10:30 and 10 minutes of no talking?
Well, that's the thing, because you can, like, there were times where I opted in.
So on a tangent, but I love it.
I know. There were times where I opted in letting my whole class just eat in the classroom, but then I lose that time. Because the only time during the day that I had to myself was lunchtime.
Yeah.
Because even our planning period was like a group planning period. That now that I'm not there at that school anymore was bullshit. We got nothing done.
Yeah.
But it was the only time. And so it's like, teachers need more than that. We both care about this one. No meaning no.
Yeah.
Like, those are both hard rules with us. I feel like even if I've started to get a little bit better at this too. Like, if they're like crawling on my back and I'm like, no, and they keep doing it, I like sit them down and I'm like, Mom said no.
Yeah.
And like, no means no.
That's good, because the amount of times that I've said like, get off me, no, and then they're still on me, and then I'm like, get off me.
Yeah.
That sounded like a psycho. But we've all been there, okay? That's a better way to handle it.
Even with my oldest the other day.
I could just feel that. That was so aggressive.
It was my oldest the other day. I said it in like the other way, because we've always been like, it's always been like an empowering thing. Like, when you say no, it means no. And then I was explaining, I was like, she said no.
Yeah.
And so like, when you say no, it means no. And when she says no, it means no. And she said no, and no still means no from the opposite way. And she goes, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I also, okay, I'm going to tie it back. I also think that's important with some of like the cussing stuff too. Like, if you say no, you cannot say shit.
Yeah.
no, you cannot say, like, what does no really mean if we're using it so loosely all the time too?
Yes, and I've been so bad at lately. And normally I'm pretty good at like following through with what I say.
It's summer, so it's
lately
harder.
I've been so bad at it. And my kids, I totally noticed, have been like pushing back when I say no on things a little bit more because I've been like, they push back and I'm like, fine.
Yeah.
But lately I've been like, girls, no means no. And when I say no, we're not doing this, same thing. It applies for this. And I'm like trying to backtrack now. But yeah, same thing. I care about what other people and other adults say in front of my kids.
Okay.
And what I say in front of my kids, like,
That's a good one.
I obviously, like every person, don't like certain things about myself, way I look and stuff. I will never talk ill about myself in front of my kids. I will never talk ill about my body in front of my kids. I will never talk about a food will make you fat in front of my kids.
Yes.
And if I hear somebody else be like, oh, she's chunking up or something, I will speak up.
I'm the same way. There's nothing that makes me, like, irks me like that.
Yeah. And
I definitely care about that. Anything like food related, it's that millennial food trauma, diet culture trauma that we all carry with us.
Somebody very close to my husband's side of the family.
I remember that.
I think a lot of moms on here will know who it is. But recently was at her house and she goes, don't think she'll ever listen to my podcast either. So I'm just
Good. That'd be too supportive.
Yeah, no. She goes, I only eat 2 meals a day. That's why that's how I stay so fit. In front of my 7-year-old.
That literally, when you told me that story, I couldn't talk for like 5 minutes. I was so upset by that.
And I right away was like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, no. And she's like, what? It's true. And I was like, awful. Like, awful. We had a good talk about it. I talked to my kid about it. And she goes, I don't know why she'd want to eat 2 meals a day. I eat like 4 and a lot of snacks.
That's my girl.
And I was like, yeah, you do. Like, but it's just like, and one thing that Justin and I have gotten better at too is we've distanced ourselves from some people that we have fun with, but we don't like how they talk to their children, to our children. We couldn't help it, and so we had to be like, we only hang out with them at certain times when we're not with our kids.
That is a really hard thing.
So hard.
I feel like it's important that it doesn't come from a place of judgment. It's they can do whatever they want, but I don't really want that like around my kids. And I think that's something that we've talked about. All right, just a reminder, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you care about, what you don't care about. We are all different. We all have to just assess what works best for us and our family and go from there.
Yep.
All right.